Well, hello awesome people of the YouTube world. For today's video, I'm going to get straight into what the content of the video is about, which are dupes for some MAC eyeshadows, which I have here. These are the palettes that I have created myself. These are all MAC shadows that I've collected over a numerous amount of years, and recently I'd purchased some Colourpop shadows, so I thought, why not make a video where I show you dupes, or rather close dupes to each other, because sometimes you see a certain shadow and you realize how expensive it is, and there's a guarantee somewhere out there in the affordable eyeshadow sphere there is a dupe for that particular eyeshadow. So that's what we're going to get into today. I do have 10 total dupes to show you guys today. Some of them are pretty spot on, while others are close enough to be considered dupes. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this video and let us get started. Here are the first two shades. This one here is Amberlights from MAC, and this one is the Colourpop shade in Up Atom. This shade here is in Amberlights, and this shade is Up Atom by Colourpop. As you can tell, they're very similar in shade. I would say that Amberlights does have a bit more gold in it, apparent gold, but once applied to the lids and with shifts in the light, it's pretty hard to tell. So I would call this a pretty close enough dupe. Here we have the next two shades. On the right hand side you have MAC's Texture, and on the left hand side is Colourpop's Conundrum. Starting off with Texture, and here is Conundrum. Create a better swatch for you there. Now these two shades I would not call dupes by any stretch of the word. However, you can see that they do have very similar undertones in that it's that medium tone brown. However, you can see that the MAC Texture shade does have a little bit of gold reflex in it, and it leans more of a red tone, whereas Conundrum has a bit of a grayish cast to it. Next up we have MAC's Mulch and Colourpop's Boxer. Starting off with Mulch, and right beside it we have Boxer. Now these two shades are pretty much in the same category as the previous shade in that they have a very similar underlying color. However, I would say that the tone of them are slightly different, where Mulch is a slightly more warm shade. There is more of a golden reflex to it, where I would say that Boxer leans more cooler in that it has a bit of a taupier undertone to it. Next up, MAC's Haux and Colourpop's Chic Happens. By the way, I forgot to mention, I did place down a towel because I knew this would get messy, so this is my makeup towel. Don't worry, I don't use this to clean my body after taking a shower. This is purely for makeup purposes. Here we have MAC's Haux, and right beside it is Chic Happens. Okay, so this is another one where the dupe is close enough to where if you put it on your lids, I know this will look exactly the same. However, I would like to place emphasis in that Haux, which is this shade here, does have a bit more purple cast to it, whereas Chic Happens definitely is more gray. But again, they're so close enough that you apply them on the lids, they will look exactly the same. Here is MAC's Honey Lust and Colourpop's 20 something. So before I show you the swatches, I just want to refer back to the two shades that you have here. You can tell there's a color difference in the pans. However, when swatched, they look significantly different. So this is not necessarily a dupe. I guess it's a dupe more for what it looks like in the pan. They are both that peach kind of gold shift type of color, but the gold shift is very strong in the Colourpop shade, whereas it isn't as so apparent in Honey Lust. In the pan, they're basically dupes and not so much on the skin. Next up we have MAC's Brown Script and Colourpop's Top Notch. My apologies, I had swatched it without recording, so I'm going to re-swatch Brown Script for you. And here you have Top Notch. They're very close. They're almost identical. I would say that the undertone you can tell is slightly different. MAC definitely is more of a truer brown, whereas you can see a bit of that red cast, or it's a bit more evident in here. They're obviously on the redder brown side, but I think I see more brown in MAC as compared to Colourpop. But I mean, just look at them. They're practically the exact same shade. This shade here is MAC's Soft Brown, and this one is Colourpop's Wake Up Call. Here is Soft Brown, and here we have Wake Up Call. These shades are very similar in color. I would say that the Wake Up Call does have a bit more of a pink tone to it, whereas you can see a lot more of brown in Soft Brown, obviously, but on the lids, this will definitely come across as pretty much dupes for each other. Here we have MAC's Handwritten and Colourpop's Cloud 9. Here is Handwritten. And here you have Cloud 9. Which one is which, I couldn't tell you. If you want to get down to like nitty-gritty type of things, the only thing that I notice is that Cloud 9, which is the shade here, is slightly more blackened, meaning that I see a bit more of that darker pigment in comparison to this, where I find it more of a true dark purple. Now we've come to a 3-part series. This shade here is from MAC and it is in Sumptuous Olive. I think it is one of the most iconic green shades that you've had out there. This has been a cult favorite for years upon years, and I didn't quite have a shade in Colourpop for it, so I was like, I need to try and find something for Sumptuous Olive, because I did purchase about, I'd say 3 or 4 green shades, so I'm like, I need to try and find a concoction. So what I did was I took Sideline from Colourpop, which is a very nice kind of shimmery, I wouldn't say foresty green, but it's kind of a mossier green, but it didn't have quite as much of that gold reflect that Sumptuous Olive does. So I took Tea Garden here, which is definitely more of that gold reflect, not so much green, and I mixed them together. So here is a swatch for Sumptuous Olive. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Sideline first, which is that mossier green shade. And then I'm going to take that Tea Garden shade and just apply it right on top. Let me apply a little bit more of Sumptuous Olive to darken it up a bit. So there they are side by side. I mean, it's not exact, but come on, that's pretty darn close. These MAC eyeshadows, I can't remember exactly how much they go for a single pan size eyeshadow. However, I know that Colourpop goes for $4. I got them for $2.80 each on the Black Friday sale. So just buying these 2 shades alone would still be less than buying this one. So if you're into Sumptuous Olive and you're not willing to spend the money for this particular shade, I would just buy these 2, mix them together, and then you have the Sumptuous Olive baby. Here you have the last set of comparison or dupes, and I did the opposite of what I did in the previous color, where I took 2 MAC shades to create a Colourpop one. Now these 2 MAC shades are 2 that are fairly popular. I don't know if they're as popular as they once were, but I do recall these being very popular shades once upon a time in the MAC collection. This first shade here is MAC's Parfait Amour, and then you have MAC's Satellite Dreams, and here you have Colourpop's Faultline. Now, at first glance, you would think that these 2 would be automatic dupes. I thought the same, but I will be showing you that they are different. Here is Parfait Amour, and here is Colourpop's Faultline. So as you can tell, they are very different when swatched. This shade here has a very true blue-based swatch to it. I don't know why that is. It just comes off more of a blue purple. The blue is very apparent, whereas you can see the mixture of both in the Colourpop shade. So what I did was I took Satellite Dreams and I used it to basically purple up Parfait Amour. Now, is that not pretty close or what? I know it's not exactly the same, but it's close enough. If you put this on the lids, this might show up a bit more vibrant or metallic, but I would say that it's the same, you know, color family. That's pretty good, isn't it? So there you have it, guys. There are my 10 dupes for my Colourpop and MAC shadows. I will be trying to do some other dupe videos with kind of a shop my stash feel to it. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that, but this was my trial run in trying to get my dupe skills down pack. I'm not quite there, but I am on my journey. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you did enjoy this video, definitely click the subscribe button for future videos. And again, I apologize for just the lack of lighting as of right now. Still without electricity, so I'm making do with what I have. I cannot wait to bring you more videos in the future. So till then, I hope you all are doing well, taking great care of yourselves. I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.